Lee Marana was a running back for the Huskies from 2003 to 2006. He was named a Harlan Hill Award finalist, which is the National Award for Division II, in 2004, while also being honored as an All-American and an academic All-American. Marana is one of only 2 players in program history to be named All-GLIAC first team for 3 seasons. He ranks 2nd all-time in career rushing yards, just shy of 5,000, and 3rd all-time in career scoring at Michigan Tech. Marana served as strength and conditioning graduate assistant with the Huskies for a year after his playing days were over. He's also been active as a football fundraising contributor. Teammate Ben James had this to say: 2 words that I feel particularly describe Lee would be humble and fearless. His humbleness was on full display in his last game versus the University of Findlay. We were winning by 18 points late in the 4th quarter. We received word that Lee was within striking distance of the school rushing record, so the push was on. We ran a hurry-up offense and pounded Findlay with our bread-and-butter rushing attack. Lee would never have asked the coaching staff to stay in the game or receive more touches, but every member of the program wanted that record for Lee. Findlay did not take kindly to the beating they were receiving this late in the contest with the game in hand. Many of their players had words for us as the assault continued, but we didn't care. This was for our guy. In the end, Lee was just a few yards short of the record. The Findlay coach had some choice words for Coach Curley as we shook hands at the end of the game, but I'll never forget what Coach Curley's response was. If you coached Lee Marana, you would have done the same. That statement perfectly summed up what Lee meant to the program and to his teammates. Now for a fun story, and to touch on Lee's fearlessness. Lee was sometimes a bit of a thrill seeker when he wasn't getting his kicks from smashing into defenders. It was mid-April and the semester was winding down. We were part of a highway cleanup crew just south of Alberta. The snow was mostly dissipated and the air temp was a balmy 50 degrees. On the way back to Houghton, we decided to do a little sightseeing at Canyon Falls Roadside Park. The river was raging due to the fresh snow melt and probably wasn't more than 40 degrees in temperature. We walked down the trail a little ways and stopped to take a look. Lee then said, "I'm pretty sure this is where people jump in. I'm gonna go for it." He then started stripping off his clothes down to his tighty-whities. I pleaded with him not to jump in, given the unknown depth of the water, the temperature, the sheer stupidity of the whole thing. After all, I'm not sure Coach Curley would appreciate his All-American performing such an act. But Lee assured us it was all good, and he took the 20-foot plunge. He disappeared for a second, then bobbed up to the surface. The river was carrying him downstream, but he managed to grab a rope hanging from a tree a few yards away. After coming back up and drying off, I couldn't believe that I'd just witnessed that. A true madman who had no regard for his well-being. This is what made him truly special on the football field. A couple years later, another teammate made that same jump and broke his tailbone, costing him much of the season. So perhaps there was some merit to my hesitation. I'm so sorry I couldn't attend this event. I was, however, able to catch up with Lee a few weeks ago to celebrate his tremendous achievement. Thank you to the alumni who lifted the program in the time of need and continue to do so, and a big thank you to the coaching staff who believed in us and helped shape the lives of people like Lee and myself. Go Huskies, and congratulations, Lee. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Michigan Tech Sports Hall of Famer, Lee Marana.
Thanks so much. I wouldn't be up here right now if it wasn't for Jim Grimes, Jay Dishna, Denny Ewers, Alex, all the alumni that actually brought this program back. So thanks so much for that. And Suzanne, 18 years already? That's insane. Honestly, 19, that's insane. That's crazy. What a hell of a job Suzanne has done with all athletics here. Give her a round of applause. And it is Veterans Day as well. Any veterans in the room, please stand up. Thank you for your service. Please stand up. Thanks so much for your service. And I usually don't write anything down, but I don't want to forget anything, because I wouldn't be up here if it wasn't for Jim and all the alumni. So I think it's okay to go over time. What a humbling honor, honestly. What a privilege to be inducted in the Husky Hall of Fame with all of you, to the rest of the 2002 class. Congratulations. First, let me say nothing about my Hall of Fame journey has been easy. Nothing's easy, but you find a way and handle hard a little better. As everyone up here will attest, it takes a lot of belief to get to this stage. All of the other inductees and whoever believes not something that simply happens. It must be nurtured by a million times over, a note, a pat on the back, coaching, a piece of advice. These things, these are things that foster belief in ourselves, over time. And today I'll recognize those people that made an impact and have done this for me. I would not be here today if it wasn't for my parents, Jim and Beth, my brother Chris. To my parents, you inspired me to be a man and a leader that I am today. They've always been in complete support of my academic and athletic endeavors through high school and collegiate career, and never missed a game. So when my dad was coaching in high school, on Friday nights, they would drive or fly and make every single game. Indianapolis, Erie, Pennsylvania, we were all over the place. 18-hour bus rides. I won't go into that. I don't think they do that anymore, Coach Carter. But if you win, it's a little better. So yeah, that meant a lot to me to be there, all the way through, high school wrestling, high school football. My dad was a coach growing up. To be there all those times and then to be at all my collegiate games, so I appreciate that. My father, Jim, he's been a coach from day one as I grew up around the game and practices at a young age, as a water boy at Westwood. And for one, I'm the third Youper in a row. That's honestly impressive. And right after another Westwood grad. So that probably will never happen again as well. So congratulations, guy. Those early mornings in the weight room before school and high school paid off, right, Dad? We made it. I think a lot of my teammates and coaches would attest that one of my strengths was my work ethic. Quote, show up to work with your lunchbox and get ready for work, right, Coach Curley? That was kind of his motto. Come to work, be ready, be prepared, and work hard. Outwork your opponents. That hard work and dedication early in high school and early in my career at Tech, outworking my opponents in the off season paid off, obviously. And Coach Curley always stressed, even in the classroom, you don't need to be Einstein to get good grades. Go to class, work hard, show that you care. Isn't that nothing but the truth today? And it still resonates today in our personal lives, right? In our personal careers. A quote by the great Lou Holtz resembles this. Ability is what you're capable of doing. Motivation determines what you do. Attitude determines how well you do it. I didn't meet my wife Lucy until after college. But she's met a lot of players and coaches and has, heard many stories. Maybe I shouldn't repeat some of those tonight, so I don't get canceled on my first day in the Hall of Fame. To my wife Lucy, I just want to thank you for always being there and supporting me throughout my life and career after school and football. To my brother Chris, thank you for bringing that competitive demeanor, and it runs in the family. We can't even play a board game with each other without getting in a fight, so I think that's a testament to not Marana, Maranimal we call it now, the Maranimal family. Yeah, even if you're a sore loser, Chris, shutting off Nintendo football or Nintendo games, even though I was winning. When I officially won, I thank you for pushing me in everything I've done. This type of competitiveness, has shadowed me throughout my career and life. So to my wife, family, grandparents, aunts and uncles, cousins, friends, teachers, professors, trainers, Dr. Trusock, the training staff, the training staff just got me ready for that, the waterfall jump, right? So that was a nice ice bath. We had to get the muscles ready for maybe drinking season. So yeah, thanks so much, teammates, offensive line, coaches, thank you so much. And I'm not done yet, sorry. I'll blame you, Jim. Of course, I couldn't be up here all on my own. You know, I've been so fortunate to have special mentors during my journey, including my family, teachers, coaches, my offensive line, teammates, over the many, many years. This type of support system is still with me. Look at everybody that showed up tonight. What an amazing support system. I want to thank each and every one of you. Without you, I wouldn't be standing here today, so thanks for coming as well. Thank you, Michigan Tech, for taking a chance on an underdog from West Ishpeming. After making the hard decision and visits to multiple universities, and doubted by many programs, you know, it was a relief to finally sign my letter of intent for MTU. My father played on many successful teams at that school down the road. We're not going to go into names or anything like that, but so they thought they automatically had me in the recruiting process, but times changed. And my dad, hey, he let it up to me. Times changed. It totally up to me in my choices. I tested really well at Ferris, but they have other priorities. And you know, that year I was too short to play linebacker at Findlay, so this only fueled my determination, right? And to prove them all wrong with a chip on my shoulder, and yes, we did, Coach, right? We proved them wrong. So it was a pleasure, honestly, looking at those coaches that were in your living room, and then they say, okay, we don't have scholarship money for you, but you can walk on. And then, you know, a couple years down the road, shaking them, you know, shaking their hand after the games, and after handing it to them, so. On game days, that felt good. So moving back to when I signed my letter of intent, right, and they kind of went into the program, dropping and whatnot, but then on day one, the whole football program was discontinued, right? So you make the hard decision to commit. And I sat in my father's office at Westwood High School in disbelief with many tears, many uncertainties on where I would even attend college, right? So crazy, crazy story. And did anybody else have scholarship money left as well, right? So after you make that hard decision. A short week later, the alumni stepped up, so thanks so much. I wouldn't be here, like I said. And reinstated the program. Now I didn't know how stable the program was going to be. You know, who would stay, who would leave, and believe me, a lot of people left. However, I stuck with my heart. It's one of the best decisions I ever made, and to this day. And then we win a conference championship a year later, which it's a wild ride of emotions and pretty cool stories. So. I also was recruited by many schools as an alley player and a strong safety instead of a running back. And so I had the opportunity to play in the Michigan High School All-Star game with as a fullback with future Huskies Kirk Williams and Pat Flannery, and at Michigan State Stadium. So we had a spread offense, and I was like, as a fullback, I was like, what do I do? Sit on the sideline? I'll be a water boy again. So they put me at tailback, and they put a little shorter guy from Mendon on outside linebacker, and I was like, perfect. I love tailback. I've been a running back my whole life. And apparently, Coach Curley and the offensive line coach knew each other, and during that week, he had hybrid guards for me. And after the program dropped, you know, obviously some of the star running backs here at Tech dropped as well. And they went to Saginaw Valley. They transferred after the program was dropped. So I was ecstatic. The first day that I got here, Coach Curley said I was at tailback, and I was like, are you kidding me? I played my whole life. This is, you know, I want to play running back. And so thanks so much for that. So it's unbelievable. how the chips, fell into place like that, right? Most times, things really do happen for a reason. I really believe that. So thank you to the MTU selection committee, my root system, family, dear friends, coaches, teammates, all the fans. I love you. As my journey illustrates, one person can make a difference in people's lives. So with all the crazy stuff going on in the world, I encourage, each and every one of you who provides, someone else with the belief that they can be great. And as our team motto always stated, family faith first, 2 school, 3 team, and then 4 self. And then just treat people how you want to be treated. Be nice to one another. And thank you very much. Appreciate it.